I've started songs and finished songs so many different ways. They've gone through so many journeys. They've happened quickly. They've happened over time. They've been inspired by my life, by mythology, by fables, by books, by movies, by characters, by warnings, lessons. And they never quite happened exactly the same way. And I was the most intensely impacted by emo music, right? Dashboard Confessional, Chris Carrabba, Fall Out Boy, Pete Wentz's lyrics, how they take a common phrase and then they just twist the knife of it, right? Like, I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song. Narrator in Clara Bow is either a studio, like a Hollywood studio person, or a label executive who's sitting, in my mind, behind a desk and meeting with a brand new starlet who's just come to town. The exec says, "You look like Clara Bow in this light. It's remarkable. You're so special. You're amazing. We're going to make you just like her." In my mind, that girl was Stevie Nicks, right? So Stevie Nicks sits down. They tell her she looks like Clara Bow. She's got those big moon eyes, and we're going to make you just like her. Don't worry. This person that we like, they name a big name, and they're like, "Oh, but you're going to be so much better. It's going to be so, no, it's going to be cooler. You're so much better." Hotel room when I was 22 years old called Nothing New, where it sounds ridiculous, but at 22 years old, I felt completely washed up. I felt like maybe the only thing that made me special was that I was this like teen phenom, whatever I was. Perfect line that I thought of 4 years ago at 3 a.m. I think the importance for me of a bridge, it just feels like we're painting a picture, we're setting a scene. We have this opportunity as a songwriter to tell an entire story, an entire movie, or a very detailed description of one scene in a movie, or a very nuanced dynamic between people, or a complicated emotion. And we have only so long to do this, you know? I've written some really long songs in my life, but for the most part, they're between 3.5 and 4 minutes. You can get to the heart of it at the chorus, but then the bridge can be where you zoom back, you walk 20 feet back, and you see what this entire painting was supposed to be. And I actually asked him if he could please hold my songs from being pitched to other artists. I was like, just give me some time to try to get a record deal. I'm going to try so hard. I could almost compare it to the Brill Building. They have these offices on Music Row, or at least they had a lot of them then, that were like these small houses. I didn't want to come in unprepared, so I'd walk in with 4 to 5 nearly finished things, 2 half-finished things, 10 hooks, because I just never wanted people to be like, yeah, there's this like little kid that thinks she can swan her way into Music Row and just like write songs with these hit songwriters. Grammys, and it was the first time there was like this big debate over whether I deserved to be there. There are always going to be like little debates, do you know what I mean? But this was like headline news. I was like, these discussions can lead to a really bad place if I don't do something to counteract them. And to why Liz Rose and Jack Antonoff became like people that I loved to write with for albums and albums, is because I'll have this stream of consciousness pouring out, and Liz would sit there with a notepad. But when you take that away, I just started, recording everything, right? Recording everything on a voice memo, because there will be times when I'm like kind of in a zone and I'm writing so fast that there's no chance I'm going to remember what that melody was. There's no chance I'm going to remember what that melody was that I did, 2 minutes ago, that I thought was cool for the verse. That was a really important album for me in terms of, of becoming a writer that knew I could trust my own intuition. Phonetic things. I love alliterations. I love, two words that start with the same letter. Love that. I don't like to have a word end with the same letter that the next word starts with. For example, in the song, Our Song, it was supposed to be when you're on the phone and you talk real low. But I was like, I don't like the real low. So it's turned into when you talk real slow. Certain words just like fly for me. And I think one of the reasons I like to take either age-old cautionary sort of phrases or things that you've heard in books, films, kind of these classic lines, and then repurposing them, inverting them, or like there's a lot of sort of modern terminology and speak and kind of common phrases from the way that we talk now. But there's also, like, in the bridge, there's a line from Hamlet that I repurposed. Locked inside my memory, and only you possess the key. I really gravitate towards juxtaposition and polarity in a line, right? So, hey, what could you possibly get for the girl who has everything and nothing all at once? Our coming of age has come and gone. Thoughts, like blended with metaphor, with discussion, with shouting. Like, you want this rant bridge to feel the most intense of what that feeling is that you're trying to establish over the course of the song. And you want it to kind of be a crescendo. We usually love those so much that we then bring them back. So we'll go, verse, chorus, rant, bridge. Sometimes like a little post coda to that rant bridge. Like, you are a mirror for your fans, for the media, for people on the internet, for just people who don't even really care about your music, but they know who you are. However they feel about themselves and their life will be projected onto how they perceive you. Spinning in my highest heels, love, shining just for you. A public person who makes art is a mirror ball. And that's part of why I've been able to keep my wits about me through all this, because I know that. And I'm really kind of aware of that dynamic, but I'm still endlessly fascinated by people. I said they were violet. I think they were violet. And we arrive, we get home, he gets out of the car, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, this intrusive melody of like, I'd cry my eyes violet, Elizabeth Taylor. We need, like, we'll talk about it later. Like, we're all still limping away from that. And I think that conversations are much more healthy now around, there's a difference between art and like going and ranting on an Instagram live. Like, there's a difference. This is a song. This takes craft. This takes skill. This takes expertise. But I also am really excited that, like, I'm a massive Sombr fan of his songwriting, and his lyrics are so intensely confessional. I don't want another man's child to have the eyes of the girl I can't forget. Are you kidding me? Song becomes a part of the song, and I did that in a song called Tim McGraw, where I'm singing about this kind of love lost and hoping that person thinks of me, and then in the bridge it's revealed that I wrote this song and I hope he hears it. The song Our Song was like, you guys say what you want. I know what I did. I love it. Like, go with God. Sorry. Like, you can come around if you want. It's okay if you don't. And then, 6 or 7 years later, people are like, oh my God, like, ready for it. Like, people slept on that song. Are you ready for it?